Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be painting some terracotta pots. I've been wanting to do this for a while now. I'm finally getting around to it. I love the color of terracotta pot, but it's a little bit boring. I have some plants that are in them, so I got some oregano and some mint in this one, a pothos, and then I have a bunch of pots that haven't had a plant in them yet. So I want to get these ones ready for whenever I do get a plant for them, and I want to decorate these up a little bit and kind of elevate them to be also an art piece as well as functional for my plants. For this project, what you're gonna need is terracotta pots. You need a paint board. You just need something to put plate on, so you can use a paper plate or something like that. I do have a paint palette, so I'm gonna be using this, but whatever you have, you can use. For most of the paint, I have this Craft Mart matte acrylic paint, and I just got this from Michael's. It came in a big pack of 24. I haven't used very many of these, so I'm gonna be having to open them all up. This seems to work really well for painting this kind of stuff, so I got that. I wanted some things to have a little more metallic. I do have these Liquitex basic acrylic colors. They are metallic colored. So this one is bronze yellow, I have a silver, gold, and a bronze. So I thought it would be fun just to add a little bit of a shimmery effect onto it as well. I have these completely optional. You're gonna need some water, and last but certainly not least, you're gonna need paintbrushes. Now I got a bunch of different ones because I'm planning on doing a bunch of different kinds of patterns, but you just need to kind of figure out what you think you're gonna do for yours and then kind of base it off of that, what you're gonna want. I have some big ones and I have some really fine ones. I have a large mix of them, and if I need to find anything else, I do have quite a bit of paintbrushes, so I can always go back and find whatever I need. Let's get started. So first, you're gonna wanna make sure that you cleaned yours off. So I just did that with this one, just to make sure there's no extra dirt on it. Be a clean surface when you are starting to paint. First do that, then we're gonna get started. Okay, to start out, I am going to be doing a bunch of green leaves, like a trailing vine kind of thing. And I am going to be using 3 different green colors. And then after these dry, I'm gonna go back and outline the leaves in a either metallic-y gold or silver, and I may do some black too. We'll see how it's looking. This one, I'm gonna start out first on my smallest pot. I got a bunch of my ideas off of Pinterest, so you can obviously look at these for ideas, but Pinterest is also another way to go. This is kind of my inspiration for the first ones. We'll see how it goes. First, you need to shake up all your paint really good to make sure it's all incorporated before you get started. I don't think I need that much, so I'm start out with a little. I can always add more. Pretty liquidy. I'm used to working with acrylics, so it's definitely more liquidy than that, but I think it will spread really nice on this terracotta, especially because terracotta is semi-porous. I think it will go on well, but not just get absorbed in. So let's hope for the best and let's get started. So I'm gonna start out with my lightest color in kind of my, I would say medium sized brush. It's not my thinnest, but it's definitely not the thickest either. A little bit of paint, and then make the stem first. I'm gonna just kind of trail along something like that. That looks pretty good. And you can always go back and put on more paint after go through. I'm just kind of going back and going over and making it more of a straight line, so you can't see the brush lines as much. I haven't painted in, oh gosh, well over a year. I used to do quite a bit of painting through high school, but that looks good. Okay, and then for the leaves, I'm gonna go in with that same color and just off of the vine, kind of draw a leaf-like shape. Doesn't need to be perfect. I'm gonna go in and more define the leaf once this dries, so it can be a little bit bigger and more of a blob. And then with the finer stuff, I'll have to be a little more specific with it. Try to make them somewhat similar. It's looking good. I always make silly faces, I feel, when I paint, so it'll be interesting looking back at this footage. Yeah, I'm probably gonna go over this a second time once this dries, just to help with the brush stroke. Here a little bit cleaner. Okay, a couple more. Let's do one here and one here. And I'm gonna do one more down towards the base of this. Where should I put this? Here. So there is my first one. Actually, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna do one like it fell off. Let's see, let's do that right here. Oh, it fell off. Okay, so that's the first round of the lightest color. Okay, and let's go in with the kind of medium toned one. think I'm gonna make this one a little bit smaller. I'm gonna just do one smaller swoosh. And I'm gonna make this one with a little more pointy of a leaf. Liking the color of this one. It's pretty. It's on the lip of the terracotta pot. Also trying to not get my finger in wet paint. A couple more. It's a little hard to get it with the ridge to make it straight. Oh well. And that one can kind of look like it's starting off a new one. And lastly, we're gonna go in with the dark green. This one is going to go in between some of these, and this one's gonna be smaller, and there's gonna be a bunch more of them. So I'm actually gonna change my brush to a smaller, thinner one. We're gonna go in with the darker green. And kind of follow the outlines of some of the other ones you did. You don't want them to cross over too much. It's okay if it does a little bit. This one I'm definitely gonna need to go over a second time. It's not showing up that great the first round. And then this one I'm gonna kind of do small, tiny little dot leaves. Like so. The green one's gonna look something like that. And I definitely have to go over it a couple more times, just so that the terracotta color isn't bleeding through underneath it. Down into here. Make sure you're watching where you're putting your hands so it's not the paint. Okay, that one looks good. Do one kind of and over. Like so. And I want to do something up top. What do I want to do? I think I'm going to use this lighter green, or the mid green tone, and kind of go around the edge. Like so. And I want to go all the way down, and I'm just kind of doing the upper half of the lip. Okay, and I'm just gonna give that a little bit of time to dry, and then I'm gonna do my second coat. For the next one, I'm gonna be doing a very simple pattern. It's just gonna be a bunch of suns kind of looping around the bottom of this pot. I'm gonna take my gold, and this is acrylic, so it shouldn't be near as runny as the other paint that I've been using. So hopefully this will work just as well on this pot. My brush, dip it in, and then I'm gonna kind of make a heart going across and down, and then you're gonna have the sun rays going off of that. Now, when you get closer to the bottom, make the rays a little bit shorter, and as you're going up from the top of the ray, from the top of the arch, you can make them a little bit longer. And you're just gonna go across the whole entire thing doing that. It's definitely more gloopy than the other one. You know what? I'm gonna actually fill in this whole entire arch. I think that will look really nice, having the whole bottom. I really like how this gold looks on this terracotta too. It's going to look something like this, going all the way across the bottom. So I'll probably add 2 or 3 more, would be my guess. Okay, that's looking good. Going all around, I have 3 suns. And then I think I'm gonna add some cute little dots up top, just to give it a little something extra. Okay, awesome. Okay, for this next one, I am going to be doing kind of a night desert theme with the whole terracotta pot being painted black besides the desert that I want you to see in the background, which will be using the terracotta color in the negative space. Fill it up. Okay, so the first thing I'm gonna do is kind of draw where I'm going to be wanting the desert space first, and then I'm going to fill in the rest of it in the black. First, I am going to do a moon up at the top. I'm gonna make sure that I'm giving it plenty of space for negative space. So you can see there, and then I'll paint the rest of this black and leave that space empty. And then I'm gonna want some stars too. I'm gonna do something like that. And even just some ones like a circle that has some negative space in it so that will show up. Be very careful not to make the stroke too big, otherwise the middle. Take your time. This part, filling it in should go a lot faster. This is the tedious part. Oh, it's looking a little wild now, but you gotta trust the process. Okay, that's good enough for now. And then at the bottom, I am going to be doing the cactus. I'm gonna be doing saguaro cactus. They have the fun arms. Again, you're gonna be drawing in the negative space. So we're gonna go here. I'm a little too low because I want some of this ground to work as the sand. So don't go all the way to the bottom. I just take a white paper towel and that will remove paint. I'm gonna kind of do like it's mountains and background connecting this. There we go. I'm gonna do a kind of barrel cactus. More gentle. Okay, there we go. It'll look something like this. You can adjust the thickness as you're painting in all the black around it to fix it up a little bit more, but tiny cactus back here. Tiny cactus are actually a lot harder than the big ones. Now it is time to fill in the night sky. Okay. Finally done. That one took forever. So I'm just gonna let this one dry and then we'll go on to the next one. Okay, up next, we are gonna kind of do a layered mountain scene. So for this one, I'm gonna be using brown, coral, white, and light yellow. So, okay, and then for this one, I'm gonna be using my thicker brush. And I'm actually starting with the top of the mountain and working my way down as it dries. So this first one, I'm gonna kind of do some waves going around. Okay, so it'll look something like that, and we're gonna wait for that to dry. Next is the next layer of the mountains. So I'm gonna do this corally color, and you're gonna just kind of go over it a little bit where you were doing, but make sure you're not going completely over it because you still wanna see the mountains in the background, and do a very similar pattern to it, but switch it up a little bit so it'll look like mountains. So it'll look something like this. I'm gonna fill it in a little bit more where the terracotta is still poking through, but. Okay, I'm still working on this mountain one, but I'm having a lot of trouble with bleed through, so I'm gonna try a different mountain one, but this time I'm gonna paint it all this vanilla color. So it's like a slightly off white, and then I'm gonna do some darker mountains, whereas these were more lighter mountains, and see what the difference is between the lighter mountains and the darker mountains, so. Okay, that's done. Let's let this dry, and my other one is ready for another round. Okay, it is time for my next layer. This time it is going to be a light yellow. And for this, I'm actually gonna draw the sun first, so just try to make a circle. So it will look something like this, and you go over it again and make it all solid. Okay, so there is my yellow one. For this next mountain, I am going to make the top part more of a brown and then the bottom part a blackish color. Okay, so I got the one loop. Now I'm gonna fill it in a little bit better. Okay, so now I'm going to do my last layer of my mountains. I'm gonna take this brown color, making sure I'm going all the way to the bottom of the thing. Okay, so that is that. I am finally done with the mountains. For this next one, I'm going to take some of my metallic paint and just do simple dashes all around. Very simple design. I think it will turn out really pretty. Slowly getting bigger and more sideways. And then I'm going to add some, let's see, do some bronzed yellow. Okay, there's that one. Okay, for my last one, I am going to kind of make a rainbow swirl going around it. I got red, orange, yellow, green, blue, and purple. And I'm gonna actually do these one at a time just because I'm gonna be going around in circles. Back up, we're gonna go off. That is the first round. Now we're gonna go with orange. There's the orange. Time for yellow. There's the yellow. Finally, time for some green. There's the green. 2 more colors left. And the last one is purple. Okay, and there is the purple. That's a fun one. Okay, it's time to finally finish this one. I am going to take my black paint. That. Now I am going to, let's see, find a good spot. Where do I want to put it? Okay, so here, first let's do a cactus. So I got a little cactus. Right here, I'm going to try and do a hot air balloon. We'll see. There we go. One, and then we're gonna do another tinier one. There's another little one, very tiny one. There we go. Over here, I am going to add a sunrise. There we go. Okay, the next one I'm gonna finish up is this one. Now this one I have all the big parts done, so I'm going to actually need to get a smaller brush. Found one. And I am going to outline the sleeve in gold. This, just kind of draw it on. So this one. Okay, there's the gold, and then I'm going to do this bronzy color for this other lighter green one. Beautiful. And finally, for the dark green, I'm gonna do some silver. Okay, I am all done. Oh, took me a long time. I was probably doing that, oh gosh, when I started. I started at 11 and it's almost 3. So it took me quite a while to get all this done, but I'm pretty happy with how they all turned out. I think they are cute and they add a fun pop of color, something different than just a plain terracotta pot, and it shows a little bit of my personality and what I like. I would say they turned out pretty good. They're not perfect by any means, but I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. If you like this kind of content, make sure to like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.